You want to be buried?
I don't want to be buried.
Why not?
It's horrible. They're cremated.
Yeah. I like being buried. It's all quiet and everything, like a mole, isn't it? Underneath the ground.
It's dirty, innit? Worms and stuff.
Yeah, not in a coffin. It's all. Have you seen it? What would it feel like?
What did it feel like for those millions of years before you were born?
It didn't feel like anything. I was just silent and not thinking anything at all.
Exactly. Well, yeah, that's how a lot of these feel most days, isn't it?
Ricky Gervais is here. He is many things. Actor, comedian, the creator of the legendary BBC comedies The Office and Extras. His shows and stand-up routines have tested the boundaries of what is acceptable to laugh at. His new Netflix series, however, has been described as, can you believe this, sweet and sincere. Here is the trailer for Derek.
I'm Derek Noakes. I work here at Broad Hill nursing home for the elderly. My best friend is Dougie. He's the caretaker here.
No one ever warned me of this.
I like wrestling. It's like strong cuddling, really.
His affection's going to kill me one day.
And Kev, he's my other friend. He doesn't work. He doesn't do anything. And best of all is Hannah. She's the manager here.
Do you read? Yeah. What do you read? Twitter?
I love working here. I'm the luckiest man in the world.
When I first met Derek, he only ever asked one question: what can I do? And whatever it is, no matter how hard, he does it.
It's great here, isn't it? Everyone gets on. We're like one big family.
50 years old. I can't believe it.
50's young, 60's new 50, 70's new 60. What's 80?
80's still 80.
It's just nice being out. I don't think I've ever been in a nice place before.
It's it now! 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 With for the day.
Dougie.
I'm pleased to have Ricky Gervais back at this table. We were just talking about somebody that said to me that their husband, who was 92, had been very, very active. But she said to me, he's the happiest. He told me he was the happiest we've ever been.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. And because you said you can say whatever you want to say.
You can see, old people's right to great. They can say what they want. I know my mum and dad went through it. Like, your mum can go, you look awful, you know, and that's it. But I was brought up on that sort of honesty, though.
Oh, yeah.
That your elders could say what they wanted. Yeah. They've earned it. They've lived their life. They're wise. I want to hear what they've got to say. I love that. I love that candid. You know, every day's a bonus.
Exactly.
I'm going to say exactly what's on my mind.
I mean, I'll be here tomorrow, so I'll tell you today what I think.
I'm tired of biting my tongue. I'm going to hit an age now. I'm going to go and tell people they're idiots.
Yeah, exactly.
Just on the bus, just in the street. Oi, come here, you're an idiot. On you go.
There was a wonderful woman in this city named Brooke Astor who once said to me that at a certain age, she stopped caring about what people thought about her, but she only concerned herself about what she thought about them.
Exactly. I'm going through that now. I'm just getting into that phase where I don't care what people think of me. Just, yeah, I want my opinion out there.
Exactly.
But like, my mum, when I was
don't really give a damn what you think of me anymore.
Exactly. And I've got older brothers and sisters, and I remember they're much older than me. My next oldest brother is like 11 years older than me, then my sister's 13 years older than me, and my oldest brother's like 14 or 15 years older than me. And I remember when I was about 12 or 13, just going back to honesty, and I said to my mum, why are all my brothers and sisters so much older than me? And she went, you were a mistake. And I just laughed. I went, cheers. She went, yeah. She said,
we didn't really want you.
She said, I got drunk.
Mistake.
She said, I didn't drink. She said, I got drunk one night.
And there you go.
Yeah.
So where in all of this did the character of Derek come from?
Well, everything I've ever done has started with a character first. I had David Brent way before The Office. You know, it was an observation on those people you meet growing up who wanted to be popular, so I was fascinated with that. Yeah. And I'd been watching a lot of docu-soaps through the 90s about those ordinary people that became famous for 15 minutes just doing a normal job.
Right.
And so... And, you know, the other side of it is I try and always write about what I know. And I worked in an office for 10 years, and I made observations. And same with extras. I had Andy Millman first, and then I put it in the backdrop of what I'd been doing for the last sort of 5 years, which was in, you know, media and showbiz. And with Derek, I had the observation of an outsider. I've always been fascinated with those outsiders, those guys that just stand alone all day, collecting autographs or train spotting, and I was all thought, what's their home life? What are they, you know?
Yeah.
I suppose sort of, you know, nerds or... I've always found myself following one of those, and then I thought, oh, the backdrop's got to be an old people's home, because all my family have been carers. Yeah. I've got 40 years of anecdotes. My mum, my sister-in-law, and now my nieces are care workers, and I've just got these amazing stories. They come back.
Do you write them down? Or
No. When you're in the thing is, just like when I wrote The Office and Extras, when you're in the observation stage, you don't know it, because it's life.
Yeah.
And when you come to write it, you record all these things, and you know. But no, I don't go round making notes. I never have. I don't make notes for stand-up even. You know, when I think I've got to do a show, you think of the theme. Most of my ideas come when I'm not working, if that makes sense.
Of course it does.
You know, that might be anything from being on a plane where I don't have admin to do.
Right.
That's when I can write a series nearly. You know, going for a run. I'll go for a run. And I'll come back and I've got an idea or a whole routine or a sketch, you know, and I've played out all the characters and I put it into... And I usually go in, I say to my girlfriend, what do you think of this idea? And she says, please don't say that in public. And then I know I've hit on something.
That's good.
That goes in. That's in the in pile. That's in the in pile.
Please don't say that.
Exactly.
Opens the door.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Let me just put another lock on the door. OK. Yeah.
So you did this first at the Edinburgh Festival?
No, I had the character, but it was very different. It evolved. Originally, Derek was a strange sort of autograph hunter, and it was an excuse to sort of deliver more satire about fame. So he was going to come into contact with these famous people and prick their ego, right?
Yes.
But I felt when I came to do Derek, after like having the character for like 12 years, I wanted to leave both fame behind and the veil of irony that seems to inhabit most of my work and most comedy. I'd done a lot about fame. You know, The Office was actually about fame, really. It was about a man going through a midlife crisis and thinking television would sort it out for him. Extras was about fame. I did a stand-up show called Fame. I did the Golden Globes. I'm in fame.
Yeah.
And I thought, no, I'll go back to those really ordinary values. And so I dropped that side of it. He is still an autograph hunter, but it rarely comes up. And so I thought, you know, I want real-world problems. And everyone gets old. Everyone, if we're lucky, we all get old.
Yes.
And
someone once said to me, aging is one thing you can't stop.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And I thought that's great, because I've always snuck drama and pathos into my work. The Office, you know, was a show about a man having a midlife crisis. It was also a bit of a love story. Extras was a show about friendship and...
Yeah.
But this is more...
This is a show about...
Kindness.
Kindness.
I think it is. And the reason I made them sort of outsiders and losers and the forgotten is so kindness can come along and trump that. That was important for me. So I wanted you not to see it coming. So that's why Derek is probably the first real hero I've ever played, but he's an unlikely hero, and he doesn't look like a hero. He looks like someone you dismiss.
Now, what is that, the way he looks? I mean, what's that about?
He's just modest, and he's got to be scruffy, and he hasn't had a formal education. He's not that bright, but he's good through and through. If you cut him in half,
good and kind.
He'd have goodness through him. And as he said in the series, you know, an old lady that dies that he loves, and he says, Joan used to say, being kind is more important than being clever or good-looking. And I just love the innocence.
Oh, yeah, that's a great line.
I love Derek. Yeah. I love him. He's my favourite character I've ever played or created. It's because I wish he was real. I love inhabiting him. I feel better as Derek. I think the world would be a better place. Just, you know, because he says what he likes. Yes. But everything's good because he means it. Because he's a kind person. He doesn't have bad thoughts and suppress them like most good people do. Yeah.
You know? Exactly, as we were talking.
Being good is managing your bad thoughts and your temptations, and you know that's being a moral person. Derek doesn't even have that dilemma. He's just good, and it's just a lovely, refreshing way to write for me.
All right, take a look. This is a clip from Derek, and this is where Derek talks about a woman in the retirement home, you mentioned this, who passed away. Here it is.
I miss her.
Do you, if you can be this candid, is this some of your best acting, you think?
It's some of the most enjoyable acting.
Really?
I do... I do enjoy sneaking in a bit of drama to try it out. You know, I know I'm a comedian, and it's quite dangerous for a comedian to suddenly think they're an action hero or a real dramatic actor. I don't even consider myself an actor. I consider myself someone who does an impression of real people that other people haven't met. You know what I mean? That gets me through it. And I'm what I was good at was realism. That I'm slightly obsessed with realism. I always have been. It was ingrained in an early age, really, to write about what you know. And when I came to that, you know, I approached this more as a writer first. The Office, Derek, everything I've done, I only ever sort of directed and produced to protect the writing. And so when the acting part came, I knew who that character was. So I know my limitations. If someone handed me a script, and often I turn down script because I think I'm not the best person for the job, I get offered biopics of really amazing people, and I think, no, you want Daniel Day-Lewis for this. You know?
They came to you for Lincoln?
No. Yeah. I was only a foot too short. Yeah.
A foot, yes.
And I borrowed the hat and everything. I got the hat, they went, no, we're going with Daniel Day-Lewis.
No, you said, give it to Daniel Day.
I know this guy. I know Derek. He sort of lives inside me.
Yeah. You do?
And so it is easier.
Meaning what? Meaning that there's something about inside of you who wants to be kind and somebody who wants to...
No, he's better than me. He's better than all of us. Yeah.
Now, do you...
But that's what playing a hero is. That's why people like playing heroes, because it's a fantasy and it's a day off and it's
I can be what I'm not really.
Yeah, yeah. And most people want to do Batman or Spider-Man, but I want to do this guy.
Yeah. So why is that?
Because it's the most important thing in the world.
Kindness.
No doubt about it.
Really?
No doubt about it.
Yeah.
It'll sort out everything.
I used to say, and I still believe it, that the hottest place in hell ought to be reserved for the people, you know, who had no respect for the dignity of other people.
Oh, well, of course, yeah. I mean,
That's the same thing.
You only need one rule, don't you? Do unto others. That's all you need.
Exactly right. That's all you need.
That's all you need. That's the shortest religious text ever.
Well,
that's it.
We could make a religion on that right
that's
there.
That's it, yeah.
You know?
Well, Dalai Lama said, my religion is kindness.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah.
Yeah, do you follow him? And I don't mean in some serious way, but I mean some sense of you're aware of what his belief is and you understand those people who find in him a kind of way of life.
Whatever the reason, whatever makes you a better person, I couldn't condemn that.
Now, are there those people who say, "Hey, Ricky, you're a comedian. Don't go there. That's not what you are."
Yeah, some people think that you shouldn't have an opinion on anything except dancing like a monkey for money. Some people don't expect you to even have money.
And you have an opinion. You have an opinion on people who dance for.
Yeah, and
like
if people go to the street and they say, "Tell me a joke," I say, "Pay me." It's funny that they do. Even on Twitter, they expect you to just like do your stuff free. I go, "Well, you're a plumber. Come round and fix my toilet." No, you don't do that. You charge for it.
I know. So here's another clip. Let's see more of Derek. He's talking to his landlord, played by Carl Pilkington. Here it is, on the bus.
It's so much fun.
You love him.
I love him. I love playing him. I love annoying Carl Pilkington when I'm playing him. Yeah. And I like the realism. I like inhabit him, and it was great. And even when we were filming it, you know, some of the older actors are really in retirement homes.
Yes. And, can you imagine what it is when they get together?
It's just so sweet, and it's such a lovely atmosphere. And I did try and create a lovely retirement home, and you know, some are better than others, and I hear stories about, you know, I don't know about America, but in England I don't think we care about our elderly well enough. We seem to want to get out of sight, out of mind as quickly as possible.
Yeah. Which is a huge mistake.
Yeah.
It's a huge mistake for a couple of reasons. There's a new study out that talks about, they now obviously know more and more about how the brain is regenerating more than we ever thought. And so the capacity of people to be creative when they're older.
Yes, well, of course. I mean, and I think it makes us come to terms with our own mortality, and we want to, you know, have our own. But yeah, of course, we're getting older and staying younger. You know, it's only 100, 200 years ago where a life expectancy was 40 or 50
exactly,
if you were lucky. You
exactly.
know,
and now it's over 80, I guess.
Oh, yeah. I mean, a child being born today can expect, in Western, you know, safe, with medical attention,
right.
Maybe 100. So it's and you know, maybe we weren't meant to live that long. I'm sure we weren't, but we are, and so there's a strange arrogance that dismisses that. There's an arrogance of youth. You know, how can they're arrogant because they were born later?
Yeah, exactly.
They didn't have to do anything. You know. So yeah, and as I say, it happened to all of us. So you know, I think of it as an investment.
Yes.
I'm nice to old people because one day I'll be one.
That's exactly
Do unto others.
Yes, exactly. What do they say?
Yeah.
There are no atheists in foxholes.
That's right, yeah.
All right, roll tape. One last clip here. This is Derek, because we're beginning to like Derek, aren't we? This is Derek in a book about cats. Here it is.
Derek is all of us before the world beat us down and made us cynical.
Right. I say that the attrition of life takes the humanity of life away from us.
No, exactly, yeah. We all want to be children for as long. I think it was George Bernard Shaw said, you don't stop playing because you get old. You get old when you stop playing.
Oh, man, I totally agree.
That's great.
I think of myself as about 7. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I know. No, oh, yeah. I'm a big kid and I'm proud of it. Yeah. I'm a militant child. I'm going to be so childish. I'm going to get more childish the older I get.
See, but that's interesting. Children say whatever they want to say, too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
they're like older
babes.
people.
No, exactly.
Same
that's
thing.
it. Yeah, honesty's funny. Yeah. Honesty is... oh, man, you should reward honesty all the time.
And you never care when it gets you in trouble, do you?
It doesn't get me in trouble.
It never does?
No, how does it get me in trouble?
Well, I don't know.
Someone's offended. That doesn't get me in trouble at all. Just because you're offended, it doesn't mean you're right.
Yeah, okay. So tell me about what is happening to Derek. Note, 7 episodes are available on Netflix.
They're available now to stream.
That's the place to be, isn't it? Netflix.
Great. It's the future of TV. I mean, it's the present now. I mean,
but it's where you can...
You can binge watch. You can download it at your leisure for your pleasure. It's you know, they're available now. You can watch them all at once or one at a time. You can watch them again. And then I'm filming Series 2 when I get back to England, and that'll be available next year. So, yeah.
Come back then.
Yeah, definitely.
It's great to see you.
Thank you, my pleasure.
How's your shoulder?
It hurts.
Does it hurt there?
I'm a trooper.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm a martyr.
So you're here in pain.
I was
in pain.
Yeah, the doctor
laughing.
said you've got an hour to live. I said, I've got to do Charlie Rose.
Yeah, thank you.
So that's my
it's
last
important.
hour.
It's important to know
Charlie
what's important. Thank you for joining us. See you next time.